This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
And welcome in here, broadcasting live from the Culver studio. I am Tim Melton, and we are here live with you on Meltdown Live daily, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, and we appreciate your time greatly. However you may be viewing or listening to us, we also have our podcast section. You can listen to us on the go right there. My platform of choice is Spotify. You can catch all the latest Meltdown content there on your ride home or maybe into the office the next day. Joining me, as always, the one, the only, Mr. Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, I'm gonna start off with this, okay? We haven't talked about this. You may not like this, but
all right.
I wish people would lay off of you a little bit. You know what I mean? People see you going to the movies, and they're like, Tyler doesn't work. He goes to the movies. And I don't like that one bit, because Tyler is the hardest working man in local showbiz that exists today. You are everywhere. If people knew how you were able to teleport from room to room, task to task, assignment to assignment, I think they'd lay off of you. But they're not seeing
I
that
think they would.
because they see you having a good time all the time, and they think it's just simple.
Yeah, they think, 124 movies in a year. That's what I'm up to now.
That is a lot.
You must just have all the free time in the world to be able to do that. No, I've got to plan out the movies I see every week
That's
like it's a special ops mission. You know,
Right.
if there's one thing that goes wrong, it throws my entire schedule off because I am doing so much, whether it's for TNR or Meltdown or Cover Crimson or The Barn or just general stuff around the studio, whether it's fulfilling merch orders or doing the log for ad reads.
All while evading the police. And I think that makes it even that much tougher. So,
Well,
Tyler,
that's why they can't get me. I'm just everywhere at once.
this is an appreciation post verbally for Tyler Lionel Johns, and I want you to have that right off the top here. So
I
keep up the
appreciate
good
it.
work, and anybody who messes with you, just tell them you have a 7-foot friend who's got a beard and is very angry about it, okay? I'll take care of
I
it.
can carry the Warhammer.
You carry the Warhammer. I'm just going to stand up. Yes. Okay, there we go. It's clobbering time. Hey, we have a very special guest here joining us, making his Meltdown debut, sort of. I feel like he's part of the show every day anyway, but he's actually physically here in person. He is a real person, I have come to realize, after the kickoff party. And we have Mr. Hunter Bussey here with us. Hunter,
Gentlemen, how are y'all?
so many just expect to see you in the chat, but here you
Yeah.
are live in the flesh.
I'm here. I'm here.
Thrilled about that. You are a Meltdonian, a proud
I am
Meltdonian.
proud Meltdonian.
What is the experience like from your vantage point of actually being in the studio compared to watching us on your screen wherever you may view us?
The lighting is different for sure. This room is way darker than it looks on the screen. It's impressive. It really, y'all give the feel that y'all have overhead lights on, and y'all do not. It's just studio lights. It's awesome.
We can barely see each other right now, and
True.
that doesn't come across on camera, but we make the most of every square foot we have in here. A lot of decorations. If you had to pick like one thing that stands out to you as a wall decoration or an item that you like the most, is there one thing that pops out? Because for Tyler, it's the Doom popcorn bucket. I'm putting it's the Sonic poster behind it.
I like that Raiders poster. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Raiders of the Lost Ark fan.
Has anybody played the new Indiana Jones video game? Because
I want to really bad. I don't have an Xbox though. It's an Xbox exclusive, I think, until March.
so
I
I
say.
I asked that by saying I have played about 15 minutes of the game. It's very cinematic, which I
Yeah.
like. Very cinematic, but I think it's called Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yes.
And it is fun, but it's weird. I mean, it's like it's not a standard video game. It's
Mhm.
very much like we're going to sort of lead your hand through the cinematic
Yeah.
tutorial and bring back some of those vibes of Raiders while also having you feel a little Last Crusade thrown in there as well. I don't love it yet, but I'm excited enough to continue playing it
Okay.
when I have a few minutes
So I've
of
seen the clips
downtime.
online where they do the little throw. It's like
Yeah.
a flashback, and I think it's the very first 10 minutes of Raiders.
That is correct.
And Troy Baker, I
Mhm.
believe, is the voice actor. He kills it. He sounds just like Harrison Ford. It's actually nuts.
I
And a
agree
young
with you.
Harrison Ford at that too.
Yeah.
Troy Baker's great.
I totally agree with you. It does sound just like young Harrison Ford. And I have not seen the latest Indiana Jones movie because I've not heard great things, and I already experienced trauma with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I don't want to go back down that road of trauma again with Indy
Yeah.
because every now and then I'll make my way to Disney and I'll watch the stage show, and
Mhm.
it'll remind me of why I love
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, and I don't want to watch bad Indiana Jones. So,
Right.
did you watch the latest Indy
I
movie?
have. I saw it twice.
Oh, so you liked it?
I
Oh,
it was alright. It was alright. I went in the first time, like, with, low expectations
yeah,
because of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and the first, you know, 10-ish minutes of it where there was, like, a little, spoiler flashback, it felt like an Indiana Jones movie, and then, as you get along and you have old Harrison Ford being shot at and, the speed does not match the situation,
right.
you know what I
Kind
mean?
of like a
Like
Robert De Niro Irishman
yeah.
situation. Know what I'm talking
Like,
about?
if you're being shot at, sprints, and he's like it's a brisk walk for the man, like he's trying to close his Apple Watch rings. You know what I mean? It's just not really like, I don't know. I don't know, but, yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's not my favorite, but
You are, for those that don't know, a giant Star Wars fan,
mhm.
but like the state of Lucasfilm currently under the Disney umbrella, I mean, it's very much. I- It used to be a mixed bag, but now it feels like it's all trending in the bad
Mhm.
direction. Minus the fact that you kind of really like this new Disney Plus show, Skeleton
Oh,
Crew.
love Skeleton Crew.
Talk to me. Sell it.
So, think if you're a Goonies fan, if you like Stranger Things with a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean sprinkled in with Star Wars, I think you'll like it,
Okay. And
personally.
I've heard it's a great entry point for non-Star Wars fans
Yes.
that are younger that maybe want to get into Star
It's
Wars.
definitely targeted for kids. It
Okay.
definitely is.
So, Tyler, one of your favorite movies of all time, if not your favorite movie of all time, is The Goonies. I
It's
mean,
one of them, yeah.
one of them, you love that. That's what this has been marketed as in the Star Wars universe, but still not enough to get you to sign up for that Disney bundle.
No, I might, you said it's a Pirates of the Caribbean influence, so, I might sail the 7 seas to see a few episodes and try it out.
We will see how Tyler's
Mhm.
relationship with Star Wars continues after
Yeah.
what was The Acolyte. We won't get into The
Oh,
Acolyte
man.
because we're going to save that for maybe a later episode to evoke rage out of you. I do want to talk a little bit about your Interstellar experience
Yeah.
because you technically, I guess, are going to see Interstellar for the second time in a very short amount of time. Just you
Yeah.
didn't really get a chance to watch it the first time. Tell me the story.
So, when it originally came out, I never got to see it in theaters. Wanted to really bad, big Chris Nolan fan. Loved the Dark Knight trilogy, loved Inception, The Prestige. I was like, it's sci-fi, like, we're going to space, like, I need this.
Have you ever seen Insomnia, by the way?
No.
Al Pacino, Robin Williams, directed by Christopher Nolan, one of his
Robin
early films.
Williams?
Robin Williams.
Like,
Yeah,
comedian Robin Williams?
like think 1 Hour Photo Robin Williams,
Okay.
where he's a little bit creepier and he's a suspected serial killer. And I'm telling you, it works. If you haven't seen Insomnia, it's one of those Christopher Nolan movies that doesn't get talked about enough that I absolutely love. But I just want to throw that in there. Maybe put that in your queue sometime.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I've heard great things about it. 'Cause it was like that with The Prestige. I never heard of The Prestige, and then I was like, "Oh, it's Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman," and, is it David Bowie that makes a little cameo in there?
David Bowie's in there.
Yeah.
Michael Caine is
Michael
in there.
Caine. Yeah.
It's just so much better. I'm glad I went first. Can you do it one more time?
Michael Caine?
I wish that was my text tone, where every time I got a text, it was you doing your Michael Caine impression. But anyway, Interstellar, you went to try to go see it and it didn't work out.
Yeah, so went, Saturday, we bought tickets, was actually on my, live stream on YouTube, and my buddy's like, "Hunter, they have tickets for Interstellar," and we're like, we're getting the tickets and we're going." So, we went Saturday, we're super hyped. IMAX, who's not hyped, see it in IMAX, how it's intended, and we get there and the IMAX tower's out, and they were like, "Yeah, so we have a voucher for you to see Wicked," and I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that. I would like to see Interstellar," and the manager came out and they were like, "Well, it'll go to any movie. It's not just Wicked." I
No.
think it was just a recommendation. I said, "That's fine." So we're seeing it tonight at 7:15. So
It's like
I'm
saying
excited.
we don't have a rental car
Yeah.
available, but
Oh
if
yeah.
you're interested in a unicycle, it's
Yeah.
like No, I really need a rental car.
Like, we know you got in a wreck, but here's a razor scooter for your troubles, you know?
Exactly,
Yeah.
100%, which, if you do that on 280, you're not gonna make it
No.
very far.
No.
I wanna remind everybody our Terrifier 3 review is up for those that are big-time horror fans. Obviously, one of the biggest horror movies of the year in 2024. Tyler, a movie that you really enjoyed seeing opening weekend. Took me a couple of weeks to actually go and kick the tires on it, but I think you, Pavlik, and myself, I think we had a fun time reviewing Terrifier 3.
It was a fun time. It was a fun discussion, and it was a fun time at the movies when me and Pavlik went to go see it. It was a shame you missed it, but I had to hit Hunter, you'll find this funny. I had to hit Tim with, "Oh, you're really not gonna have an opinion on the number 1 horror movie in the
Right.
nation."
Which is
And it got him. He had to go see it.
which is exactly how I was able to turn those turntables on Tyler and get him to go see Wicked.
Exactly.
Because,
Yes,
so
that
we
that
do
that
this,
is that is what happens.
Mhm.
we pressure each other into cinematic experiences sometimes, and it turns ugly, but you know what? It's our relationship,
Yeah.
and we're working through it. We're seeking therapy. Okay, let's talk about our main topic here right off the top, and that is James Gunn's Superman. It's what everybody's buzzing
Heck
about.
yeah.
And today, even more information about this upcoming teaser trailer that
Mhm.
drops tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll have our first reaction up. It'll be authentic. We will not have watched it before we watch it live on camera there, or I should say recorded on camera. We'll throw it up for you to watch. Tyler, we got a teaser trailer teaser today. My first reaction was not positive.
No, it wasn't, but I've got some information for you.
Talk to me.
So first off, I actually didn't see the problems in the teaser trailer teaser that, you saw, but you'll be happy to know nothing you saw this morning is footage from the movie. It was all shot specifically for this teaser.
I don't know if that makes me happy or not. Why would that make me happy? I mean, I understand
Because
you're like final
because
product
you're
is what
like,
matters.
"Hold off, this is just purely for a 10-second commercial, and it's not footage that will be in the full-length trailer, the real teaser trailer, or, the movie."
That makes no sense then. Why put it in a teaser for the
They're
movie?
just trying to build hype for
I
the
don't like
trailer.
it.
It's coming tomorrow.
You know how it is.
This
It's
a
Hollywood.
marketing
You gotta
push.
draw it out.
Guess what? I hate it more now. If that's the case, if that turns out being true, and I'm gonna
That
take your word
backfired.
for it. I'm gonna take your word for it that this is just simply clickbait promotional material for future promotional material. It's like an egg inside of an egg inside of an egg. I just want the candy at the end. Okay, just quit.
Well, they've gotta make sure everybody is
I
watching
know.
tomorrow.
I get it.
Because
James,
there's
They gotta
only
make sure they're looking up.
17 hours left, as you can see from the countdown I've got.
I love the countdown feature. I keep
Mhm.
going back to the countdown and I'm watching it.
Oh, yeah.
That works so well on like major broadcast news networks too when they have a countdown. For some reason we're trained to watch the clock count down and be like, "Ooh, we're closer now. Ooh, we're closer now."
Yeah.
It worked well for, NCAA, back in August.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. James Gunn's Superman debuted its first motion poster this week, which includes that new take on John Williams, his famous theme from Christopher Reeve's 1978 Superman. The teaser trailer for Gunn's Superman arrives tomorrow, once again 8 Central, 9 Eastern. I love the poster.
Love it.
You love it
Absolutely
too?
love it. Yeah. I
I
agree
mean,
with, I think it was EG that said it the other day. It can go in any room because of the colors. Like, it's just a good movie poster to have in the collection, you know
well,
what I mean?
I fully expect it to be hanging up at her apartment at some point because if she really believes that, she needs to have a little bit more comic book lore hanging up on the walls there. But my opinion is the poster's perfection. I hope that the trailer can live up to that level of hype that the poster has given us all. But I have promised a meltdown countdown today on the 5 things that I hope to get from tomorrow's Superman teaser trailer. Now, are some of these demands maybe a little bit too much? Hold me accountable. You don't have to agree with me. You can be like, Tim, calm down. It's going to be a teaser trailer, okay?
That's what I did this morning.
That is correct. And Tyler has been my emotional support animal this week because I'm really excited for this. I'm a big DC Comics fan, and I want Superman. If they can get Superman right, it'll be the first time with my time living on this planet that they've gotten Superman right.
Right.
And the same for y'all, I assume.
Uh-huh.
Like it's been a long time since there was a unanimous sort of Superman is here and we're
Yeah.
enjoying this
Yeah, I'm in
sort
that
of
boat.
feeling.
I'm in that boat for sure.
So let me start off with number 5 of the 5 things I want from this teaser trailer tomorrow. Number 5, show me how this cinematic world of Gunn's views Superman. Let me be more specific. Henry Cavill was always viewed as a controversial Superman by his cinematic universe.
Mhm.
He was a polarizing figure the entire time. To me, it grew extremely tiresome to see Superman constantly attacked physically, emotionally, reputationally.
Mhm.
It was exhausting for me. You never got to just enjoy watching Superman because he was under constant attack. If Superman had had like a Twitter profile in that movie, it
Yeah.
just would have been constant hate in his DMs the entire time. In my personal view, Superman should be seen as a beacon of hope.
Yep.
Give me a world that's more optimistic about Superman than one that is scared of Superman, which was the whole grievance of why Batman v Superman even happened. Because Batman was like, well, think of the unchecked power, and we have to destroy this guy, even though he hasn't done anything. He didn't do enough to save innocent people, and now he must be ruined. I didn't like that whole storyline, and I did feel like it was a little bit rushed. I would have liked a Man of Steel 2 before we even got Batman v Superman, but that's a whole different argument. But give me a world that's more optimistic about Superman than scared. The line between awe and anguish is a fine one, and I want more amazement than anger. That's what I want. And I want that presented in the teaser trailer. I want a sense of like people are in awe. Tyler, give me a chat check-in. What you got?
Yeah, just a quick chat check-in from The Watcher. He says they showed how people viewed him in the teaser. They love him and are starstruck when they see him, which is great. Got a little picture of that up now. Yeah, Tim didn't like the look of these people in the background. I thought it fits the sort of world that James Gunn is trying to build,
All right.
more colorful, but,
So
to each their own.
when I saw the background actors that are in the foreground here, and
Yikes.
they are, I thought it was fake. I didn't think it was real.
Like CW level quality type of vibe, or
I thought it was CW, or I thought it was AI even. I didn't find that these
Ooh.
were real individuals. And can you think of the traffic accidents once again? Like you got a flying man and everybody stops and they start running out with their phones, which is probably how it
Yeah.
would happen on
Oh
280.
yeah.
And I
People
just,
stop to just look at a plane on 280.
yeah, I wouldn't want to sell insurance in Metropolis, is what I'm
No.
saying.
No. Heck no.
Okay,
That shot of the Daily Planet looked good, though. I've
It
got that
did.
up. I've got that up now too, just for anyone who hasn't
yeah.
seen it.
I-
That looks perfect.
The Superman stuff looked great. The pedestrians walking down the street stuff
Yeah.
looked awful
It
to
looked
me.
like B-roll for like a documentary or something, you know what I mean?
That's my opinion,
Yeah.
but hopefully I don't have that sense tomorrow. Let's move on to number 4, the 5 things I need to see from tomorrow's teaser. Give me that great mix of iconic and new imagery. Make it feel both old and new
Mhm.
at the same time. Superman is iconic, but iconic can turn into ancient very quickly with younger generations. Superman doesn't mean a ton right now to younger people.
Mhm.
He's looked at as an older property. This is a character that debuted in 1938, but that when they debut is not necessarily a cardinal sin because, Batman wasn't too far behind and Batman is still as relevant as he's ever been.
Mhm.
I don't feel like this is a character that has been universally accepted since 1981 with the US release of Superman 2. Gunn's vision for the film draws from various influences while maintaining its own identity. He told The Wrap that, quote, all previous DC media influenced me. I think that obviously the original Donner movie influenced me, but there's a lot of things that this isn't. Like I'm not just making a Donner type movie. It's very different from that. He also specifically cited All-Star Superman as a major comic book influence, noting its Silver Age feel and science fiction approach. I am of the mindset that audiences typically don't like a science fiction led superhero quest. They like things that are more grounded in their reality if you're talking about trying to appease to general movie-going audiences. So we'll see how much sci-fi is actually worked into this. But I need something tomorrow that feels respectful of the past
Mhm.
and feels fresh to a younger audience that can go like, okay, this is cool. How do you make Superman cool? That's the
Yeah.
$1 billion challenge here. And it's going to be a tough one because, I mean, in full transparency, you don't fully like relate to Superman as being your guy. I mean, is he top 5 superheroes for you right now? Superman?
I mean, right now, I don't know. I
We'll
mean,
see after
yeah,
tomorrow,
yeah, we'll
right?
see after tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the poster looks good. The slogan "Look Up," I think is just it's amazing. I read that and got chills immediately because of the way the poster looks, the John Williams kind of a remaster, if you will, which I saw some fan theories about that, with it being his mom sending him from Krypton possibly to Earth, and that's like her humming like a lullaby. If
Oh,
that happens, I would lose my mind, by the
okay.
way.
I'm so happy you brought that to the equation because I didn't even think about that as a narrative possibility. So thank you for bringing that in.
Yeah.
But I really like, once again, it feels fresh,
Mhm,
that new version of the theme,
mhm.
but it also feels like it's paying respects to what came
Yeah,
before. I've heard people say that the John Williams Superman theme should be the only thing ever associated with Superman ever.
right.
They should treat it almost like the James Bond theme, where it's
Mhm,
the theme stays with the character because you can't get better than the John
right.
Williams theme.
That it's not a bad argument, I don't
No,
think.
it's not. It's
But my feeling is Batman. Once again, I'm going back to Batman, which I know Superman fans hate. Batman has had multiple iconic themes throughout the course of the character's cinematic history, and the Nolan version versus the Burton version versus what we're getting now with the Batman with Robert Pattinson
Versus Adam West.
versus Adam West. They all have it was iconic.
yeah, it is.
They all have notable themes, and I think it helps strengthen the character for new, younger audiences that when they hear those themes, that's the one they resonate with. Joe Burrow, if he's rolling around town listening to a Batman theme,
Yeah.
he's probably listening to the Nolan one. I mean,
Yeah,
because
because 'cause he's
Yeah.
got the Batmobile from the
bought the
Nolan
Nolan
ones.
Batmobile.
Yes. Yeah.
Me, I'm rolling around listening to the Michael Keaton Batman theme. Like to me, that's the Batman theme. But everything has been really good. I just think they could do the same with Superman if they
Mhm.
tried. But that's just a credit to John Williams. Once he
Yeah.
attaches himself to something, it's tough to ever
Like
replace it.
Indiana Jones, we were just talking about that earlier. Like,
Yeah,
that theme is iconic. That
correct.
will stay with Harrison Ford till, for pretty much till the end of time.
Correct. And eventually there's going to be a new Indiana Jones. And
Mhm.
the question is, will that theme continue on with that
Yeah.
new Indiana Jones? Or will we see a new theme develop? Tyler, what you got with the chat?
All right. The Watcher back in the chat. You says the filter or grading in the teaser is fine. It didn't bother me. At least it's actually colorful, unlike the Snyder movie. The only grading or color excuse me. The only color grading or filter to actually bother me in a comic book movie was Age of Ultron. I agree with that. A lot of the MCU movies just look gray or purple to me.
Yeah, we've really gotten to a point in internet culture where color grading has become such a hot topic. So I hate the color grading for Wicked.
Okay.
Like I called it production design and people lost their mind. They're like, the production design is immaculate. And I'm like, okay, well, the way it turned out,
To be fair, you also did say that they made CGI sets, and there weren't. They got after you for that.
but it's wrong. There's full, and I'm not backing down on that. If you look at where Oz is living, okay, and that is all CGI, and
Yeah.
I'm not backing down off of that.
Yeah.
For the exterior large city, forget that. Screw those people, Tyler. They are not proud Meldonians. But
Oh,
the color grading I figured out is the
yeah.
thing I actually have a problem with.
Yeah.
But whatever. Either way, it doesn't look great. Wicked.
I like the color grading, but we'll agree to disagree. Everybody has, different preferences as far as that goes. Anyway, moving on. Smuff says for the public at large, Superman isn't top 10. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
He's just lost relevance in today's just current
And
era of Superman.
he used to be a clear number one by a landslide.
That's
Used to
fair.
be. And then decade after decade after decade, he's taken more of a back seat. So there's a lot riding on this film. A lot riding on this trailer tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
He has a chance to do something big though with this, if you think about it,
Oh,
because
yeah.
this is the kickoff for the DC. What are they called? The DCU.
Yeah.
DCU. Like, I want this movie to do well just because it's Superman, but I want it to do well because it's James Gunn's universe.
And
You know what I'm saying?
correct. And I don't think people understand how much Marvel's rooting for this movie.
Mhm.
They know that if Superman is back
Mhm.
and matters,
Mhm.
that it makes their properties matter more too.
Yeah, and it'll have competition, and the market won't be so, one because right now it's Marvel heavy, and they know that, and it
Right.
shows because of some of the shows they've put out, like what is the most recent one that's come out with the witches?
Uh,
I
Agatha all along.
Agatha All Along. I had not seen an episode of that yet, don't plan on it. I
Same.
like Catherine Hahn. She's great. She was great in other
Yeah.
non-Marvel things like, Glass Onion.
But who's
Yeah.
asking for this is the
Yeah.
question.
Like, nobody's, like, getting, like, excited about it. Like, I
I'm
asked
with
my
you.
friends, "Hey, are we watching that?" "No." "Oh, okay. Alright." Just making sure.
Well, I'm glad you didn't watch it alone, sadly, because that
Yeah.
would have been a weird series to just sit there and be like, you know what? I'm going to watch Agatha all along. Screw those guys. All
Yeah.
right. I'm going to move on to number 3 on my meltdown countdown of things I need to see from the trailer tomorrow. Clark Kent needs to be featured.
Mhm.
This is an important one for me. We're going in level of importance. Superman is the title character, but Clark Kent is the way to make us care about David Cornsweat the most.
That name.
I know, I'm with you. Every time I say it, it sounds like an insult. If we get behind Clark Kent and root for him, we can get behind the new Superman. Henry Cavill was a wonderful Superman in awful films with not a lot to do, but no one, I think, can argue that Henry Cavill was a better Clark Kent
Oh,
than
yeah.
what we saw with Christopher Reeve.
Sure.
Christopher Reeve is the undisputed GOAT of Clark Kents.
Mhm.
Regardless of which Superman you like, Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent and his sort of bumbling, naive, Midwestern charm.
Mhm.
I rewatched the Donner film last night, and him as Clark Kent is his best acting. I mean, it's really incredible what he does in that role, and we need a strong Clark Kent.
I think somebody brought it up in the chat the other day, but they brought up a really good point, and it's that you have to get Clark Kent right because Clark Kent is the secret identity.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's arguable with Superman of who's the secret identity, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm leaning towards David Carradine from Kill Bill
Yeah.
going, the thing about Superman is he wakes up Superman. He becomes Clark Kent by putting on the glasses. So I lean towards that
That's been
argument.
my whole thing with That's been my whole thing with Superman, with just he doesn't wear a mask. So when he's saving everybody, they see his face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I put glasses on, you're not gonna be like, "Who is that?" You know what I mean? And then suddenly, he'll take the glasses off and they're like, "Clark?" You know what I mean? Like,
Well, if you put on fake glasses right now, I would probably call you EG by accident because that's been a popular trend here in the studio, and I'm just used to that. So let's move on to number 2. Give me tomorrow. Give me one line of dialogue that really stands out. Give me one chill bump inducing line of dialogue. Make it in a tone that is strong and powerful. Give me like a Keith David style line of dialogue that's in there that really resonates. The poster features that great tagline of look up. Give me that one line tomorrow in the trailer that induces some goosebumps and helps paint the tone of the story. Line delivery is just as important as the line itself, but I need one piece of dialogue that captures the spirit of this new entry tomorrow. Give me that one line where it's ingrained in us. That's the line I want tomorrow in the trailer. I don't know if I'll get it, but I want that. And number 1, and this is number 1 by a landslide. I need the trailer pacing to build to a crescendo, to where immediately I want to play it back again. I need it to build where it leaves me on this high where I want to run through a brick wall and want to play it again. And I want to play it again the next day. And I want something that has some replayability here with some trailer tempo. Zack Snyder, I know I've gone after his DC universe a lot here. His Army of the Dead trailer that had this Kenny Rogers the Gambler remix with Dave Bautista where he's fighting zombies in Las Vegas. I'm telling you, it's an amazing trailer. It's one of my favorite trailers ever. So good. And I rewatched it so many times because it had a perfect build up and tempo that went with the music perfectly. I want a great tempo in tomorrow's trailer. I don't want it to feel like it felt with this teaser to the teaser today, where
Mhm.
it's just like kind of fragmented. I'm not going to hold this teaser of the teaser against the
Mhm.
teaser we're getting tomorrow. I just
Yeah.
want to make that clear.
The shots that they had of Superman that were like little split seconds of him flying, they look pretty good.
Mhm.
even though one of them was I couldn't tell where he was. It looked like there was some ice. Not sure what's going on, but the other one, he's just like shooting towards the sky, and that's just an iconic Superman shot as it is. But I mean, I'm not saying I got high hopes, but I like the direction.
Like, a lot of people are going to be buying up or selling all their stock after tomorrow. We're all going to be able to witness our first lengthy amount of footage. And then I think, I've said this before, I'll say it again. During the Super Bowl, we're going to get that first full trailer.
Mhm.
I'm curious to see what the length on this trailer is tomorrow. I'm willing to bet it's going to be 90 seconds, 2 minutes, something like that, maybe 212, something like that for the teaser. But
That's a
Feel
long teaser.
I
I feel
think,
like a minute 30 would be a ballpark.
guys, the buildup for this teaser
I know, yeah, it's
has been through the roof. I think I'm gonna take closer to 2 minutes than the 90-second
okay,
mark.
okay,
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I,
That's
I'm
where I'm going.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go lower than both of you. I'm gonna say minute 15 to 90
Okay.
seconds.
Ooh,
Minute 15 to minute 20. I
I'll
think
take
is a
that too.
sweet spot for
That's
that.
not
okay. Well, we will see. That's not one of my 5 things of I need this thing to be at least 2 minutes, but I think it will be. We're gonna see. The buildup's been incredible. Are you excited for the Superman trailer? Let us know in the chat. Anything with the chat we need to check in on here, Tyler, before we move on to our next piece of dialogue? Because we're all very much excited to see what it is that they're selling us with Superman tomorrow.
The Watcher says if anybody's rooting for this film, it's most definitely Feige, who is a big Superman fan
Mhm.
and has cited numerous times that Gunn is a walking comic book encyclopedia. You're 100% right.
yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
Figure drawing says, but Superman isn't real. I assume referring to the grounded nature of a lot of superhero stories. Also wishes that Superman was a series, not just a movie, because fleshing out characters is James Gunn's strength, like in Peacemaker.
Yeah, who would have thought that we'd be in a world where adapting Guardians looks like an easier task than adapting a Superman movie or making a Superman movie work? Like, that's how far Marvel has taken the torch and run with it.
Eh,
And it's time now for some of the big boys to have their due. And Superman is on the Mount Rushmore of superheroes. Don't care
yep.
what you think. He is right there in the level of importance and should be at the top of the pecking order for all of DC superheroes. Batman's overtaken him, and I don't think there's much debate about that. He's been losing ground, Superman has, ever since 1989, and it's going to be an
I,
important one.
I I think even the Flash was gonna overtake Superman until Ezra Miller stepped up to the
Oh,
plate.
so that movie too, y'all, that was
Just because
Yeah.
that CW show was beloved for a
yeah.
Yeah.
while.
And, I'll say one more thing about Superman here before we move on. You can't really hurt Superman,
No.
but you can hurt the people that Superman loves.
Mhm.
And I have a feeling that that is going to have to be happening in this world with
Yeah.
James Gunn, where his circle is under constant distress. And we'll see how much they lean into that compared to trying to introduce kryptonite constantly, because that can be a tough narrative thing
Mhm.
to accomplish. But
And final message in the chat, Smuff wants to know if Hunter is the Boris to EG's Natasha.
yes, um are you good with maybe a Halloween costume idea that we can throw at you to where you and EG can
I
dress up as
mean,
Boris and Natasha? I think it could work.
I think it could.
Does that make us Rocky and
It
Bullwinkle?
does.
All
Yes.
right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about, so you're Rocky and I'm Bullwinkle?
I naturally
That is correct.
I don't think it'd work as you as a small flying squirrel.
It would be funny.
It would be funny.
So there we have it. There's our meltdown countdown of the 5 things I need to see from the trailer tomorrow. Will I get all 5 of those? I hope so. We'll see.
We'll
You'll
see.
have to check in with us in the 8 to 9 a.m. Central Time hour tomorrow to see our reaction there. From counting down to chomping down, we encourage you to reach out to the dental team that we trust most, located on Grants Mill Road. That's Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. They provide all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health, whether you have that nagging toothache or you need to get on top of those regular cleanings. They're there for you. Maybe you're new in town and need to make sure you have a dentist on standby. Reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself, as they're accepting new patients. Can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205 956 8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Dr. Brian has sort of a Clark Kent look about him at times, a little bit. but someone would say he looks like a better Green Lantern because
Mhm.
he does look like Kyle Chandler, and Kyle Chandler is going to be in the Green Lantern project there. So here's what I want to do to end the show. We have a little segment that we play called Pick Your Picture. I have options from Theater A and options from Theater B. You tell me which one you're walking into right now. Interstellar is not going to be an option here
Okay.
for you,
All right.
even though I know
All right.
you'll be
Yeah.
walking into those. Okay, we're going to start with this. Theater A, Hunter has 2000's Meet the Parents, or Theater B has 2000's The Replacements. If you don't know what either of those are, you can tell me.
I know what they are.
Okay.
Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents?
Yeah.
You're going with the Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller family comedy with Owen Wilson, where they're making another Meet the Parents here very soon, a fourth one. People are like, there was a third one? There was a third one.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say the name of it because who knows what'll be picked up. Are you going with Theater A or Theater B here, Tyler?
What's The Replacements about? I know that's Keanu Reeves, right?
That is. So Gene Hackman, who played Lex Luthor to Christopher Reeve's Superman, he is the coach of a football team where all of its stars have walked off the field, and he's got to find a group of replacement players to come in and make sure that he can
Sounds like a
field a team.
classic, but I'll take Meet the Parents.
I think you'd like the
I
replacements.
think I would too. I got to be in the mood for a sports movie.
There's a great music sequence in there where they sing "I Will Survive," and they're all in jail
I've seen that.
and they're singing
Yeah.
that, and it's a lot of fun. But the replacements it is a fun movie. It's the first DVD I ever rented.
Really?
Yeah, brought it home, popped it in, and it started skipping. And I'm like, VHS is the way to go. I was wrong. Okay, 1999's Galaxy Quest or 1987's Spaceballs, Hunter. Which one are you
Spaceballs.
walking into? Spaceballs easy?
Spaceballs.
Okay. I'm going to be in the minority here, but I'm taking Galaxy Quest 10 out of 10 times over Spaceballs.
I've never seen Galaxy Quest, but I'd rather rewatch Spaceballs.
Gosh,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So good. I love Mel Brooks.
I'm so outvoted here. Okay. I love Galaxy Quest. Obviously, one is a riff on Star Trek, the other's a riff on Star Wars. So, no shock there. You took the Star Wars way. Speaking of Star Wars,
Mhm.
are you going with 2018's Solo, a Star Wars story, or 1999's Star Wars Episode 1?
So one.
Like, by far?
By far.
Okay.
Even
Now,
though people hate on it because it's like, oh, it's too government. It's too, there's a lot of politics going on. Have you seen Solo?
but it's not just to government. It's like they're getting into tax code. It's not even
Yeah.
fun
We
government.
talk about like trade
Yeah.
policies for an hour and
I
a
know
half.
that.
Like,
I think the first is the whole reason why they're there is because of like a trade issue or something.
like
Like
tariffs have been put on shipments outside of our country. Why would this ever happen in real life? Why do I need to know about this?
I could just some kid getting jarred from like the blockade has been You're what are you talking about?
Right. They start getting jarred and then they get jarred. So it works out perfect. My question to you, and I'm so sorry for that pun, Tyler, are you going with Solo, a Star Wars story, or Star Wars Episode 1?
Let me throw a little quote out there for you.
Mhm.
Now this is pod racing.
Star Wars Episode 1 it is. I'm the same. Star Wars, the Solo movie was one of the most unnecessary things that ever existed in Star Wars cinematically. And I had to find something that you could make an argument to where you're in the mood for Solo. I don't know what that is. Do you have one that you're like,
I mean, it's not bad if you're wanting like a sci-fi heist movie, which is pretty much what it is.
Right. but when we talk about Harrison Ford and iconic characters of
Yeah,
his,
no.
it's really tough to
Yeah,
recast.
and that actor who played Solo, he was in Oppenheimer, right? He was
Was.
like was he a lawyer or was he just a reporter?
He
Or-
was the aide for Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr.'s congressman that's trying to get
confirmed, and then
confirmed.
yeah,
He
okay.
delivers a great monologue at the end. Alden Ehrenreich, I believe his name is.
Yeah. He's not a bad actor, and I
He's
have
not.
nothing
That's a
against
good
him. I
pull
mean,
there,
it was
Tim.
just like I don't know, the vibe of the movie, like whenever they're I think he's like fighting for the Empire at one point, and it threw me off.
Yeah.
I was like, this is I don't know. Considering somebody that hated the Empire so much in the original trilogy, I don't know. That might be why, but I don't know. It just
Potentially.
yeah.
Okay, let's go to this. Are you going with Tyler 2006's Snakes on a Plane, which if you want to know what the plot of that movie is, it's right there in the title.
It's tempting.
Or are you going with 1999's Deep Blue Sea?
I've never seen Deep Blue Sea, but I absolutely love Snakes on a Plane.
Both of these have Samuel L. Jackson in them.
Mhm.
He delivers a wonderful monologue in Deep Blue Sea. I don't know if y'all.
Delivers a great line in Snakes on a Plane too. If you've ever seen the TV censored version, even better.
What I don't know what the TV censored version is, but I may have to ask you off air. I don't know, or else you can tell me now.
It's like I I'm tired of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
I was not prepared for that.
Yeah, me neither. I've
Snakes on a Plane or Deep Blue Sea?
never seen them, so I'm not sure.
Take a wild
I
gander.
mean,
then.
snakes on a plane, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, Deep Blue Sea.
Based off of that quote alone.
Deep Blue Sea is a top 5 shark movie. There's not a bunch of shark movies that are quality. Deep Blue Sea, I really enjoy. It's a guilty pleasure for me. I saw Snakes on a Plane in a sold out theater opening weekend, and people were losing their mind thinking it was the funniest thing in the world. And that movie made tons of money. It like
It
people
is the
don't remember it.
funniest thing in
Is
the
it like
world.
a Naked Gun type of vibe, or
Yeah, it's kind of like take the movie Airplane.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
it's not. They play it like B movie horror,
yeah?
but with like Samuel L. Jackson taking it deathly serious, and so it works out. Next, I believe both of these are directed by Ridley Scott. 2021's The Last Duel or 2023's Napoleon. Which one are you going to go see?
The Last
The Last Duel
is-
had Matt Damon,
yeah.
Ben Affleck, Adam Driver.
Uh,
Napoleon had Joaquin Phoenix. I've only seen The Last Duel. I have not seen Napoleon.
I like
I haven't seen
historical
Napoleon either.
dramas. I'll go with Napoleon.
You going with the director's cut that's near 4 hours long?
Oh, my
Pass.
word.
Pass.
Last Duel for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has Ben Affleck in a really bad wig, but the fight sequence at the end, if you just watch that on YouTube, just the fight sequence, The Last Duel,
Mhm.
it is a great fight sequence, but it's not worth the build up of the movie.
So
It's a
there's-
perspective movie.
So there's multiple duels in The Last Duel. I thought it was supposed to be about like the very last legal duel that happened in like France or something.
Don't think that maybe I missed that part of them saying this will be the last duel. But I'll tell you this, it's a movie that shows you perspective of one character to begin with, and it changes perspective to another character, and it shows you why it is that they're fighting, and it's, it's fine, but it's not great. Okay, next, from Napoleon to Napoleon Dynamite. Are you going with 2004's Napoleon Dynamite or 1985's The Breakfast Club?
Napoleon Dynamite. Easy. It's a family favorite right now.
Napoleon Dynamite, the king of awkward movies.
Breakfast Club is great, but it's not all that funny when you go back and watch it.
It is a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Like, especially when you get about like, I don't know, I guess halfway through, 2/3 of the way through, and they all have that little powwow and talk about their feelings. It starts getting pretty sad after that, and I'd rather be in the mood for Napoleon Dynamite.
The Breakfast Club is an introspective sort of
Hmm.
high school movie. Okay,
Great movie though.
next we're going to go very fast. The Expendables from 2010 or The Suicide Squad from 2021, directed by James Gunn.
I've never seen The Suicide Squad, so I'll give that a try because I'm not an Expendables guy.
I've seen the James Gunn Suicide Squad. I'll pick that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it may be the best DCEU movie ever made.
Yeah.
And that's not a very high bar.
Yeah.
Okay, next, 2001's Jeepers Creepers or 2001's Super Troopers. Which one are you in the mood for? Jeepers Creepers, horror movie, Justin Long. Super Troopers, comedy about a bunch of renegades on the police force that like leaders of soda.
I haven't seen either of those, so
Which one are you watching today, Hunter? That's the
Super
question.
Troopers, I guess.
Super Troopers, you're in the mood for a comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I do like Jeepers Creepers. I think it's underrated, but I'm gonna go Super Troopers. The other day, EG referenced sending people a gift from Super Troopers. She has no idea what the context is or anything about the movie.
He was messaging police officers and trying to tell them good job, and it was Super Troopers gifs, and she doesn't realize Super Troopers is kind of like mocking the police force.
Oh no.
Not a good idea.
Oh man.
All right, next, these may be two movies you have not seen. 2007's The Number 23, starring Jim Carrey. A movie that nobody mentions when they mention Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Or 2007's Disturbia, starring Shia LaBeouf.
Disturbia.
Disturbia, a take on Rear Window is what that movie is.
Yeah, give me Disturbia.
It's a good
I
movie.
like Shia LaBeouf in that movie.
You both picked the right door there. And then last but not least, we're going to go to Tyler last. Hunter, 2024's Mufasa or 2024's Sonic the Hedgehog 3? Which one would you rather watch?
That's a toss up.
That's why it's a perfect
Yeah.
question.
I don't know. I guess Mufasa. I lean towards more Disney stuff whenever I go to see things. I haven't seen the second Sonic the Hedgehog. I saw the first one, thought it was pretty good.
Your Disney Lucasfilm chip in the back of your neck is starting to short circuit a little bit there. I'm starting to see some sparks. It's like, good answer, Hunter. You get to live, will not be detonated. It is like a real life Suicide Squad. I know your answer is Sonic 3. It's one of your most anticipated movies of the year. Tell me why you're so hyped for it tomorrow.
So this movie is taking a lot of inspiration from one of the best games in the franchise, and that's Sonic Adventure 2. Also, Shadow is a fan favorite character, voiced by none other than Keanu Reeves. And we also get to explore Shadow's backstory, which is a fan favorite character arc with Project Shadow, his relationship with Maria, and yeah, it's a powerful storyline, and everyone is excited to see it on the big screen if they're a Sonic fan.
Lots of hype around this one. And I believe Mufasa, like the James Gunn Superman teaser trailer, is linked to the movie Mufasa that comes out this weekend. According to early reports, it was supposed to be attached to that film to show it in theaters for the first time. So I'm going to be checking out Mufasa tomorrow, and that would be my choice of these two. But we will have coverage of both of these films right here on the Meltdown for you. We want to thank our title sponsor, that's MyBookie at mybookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Plenty of opportunities to cash out and win, or let it ride at MyBookie. Join the MyBookie family for daily odds boosts, same game parlays, and super contests. And make sure you use promo code next round for a first time deposit bonus where you can bet and play absolutely anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. Quickly, Tyler, a final chat check in.
All right, we got Neo the One, a new listener today. Nice name and nice Goku profile picture. Have to call it out. He says he hopes DC wins to give Marvel some competition.
Yeah.
I think we all agree. I think that is just the theme of our coverage on Superman is please DC give us something to believe in.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly.
And that is the case here with Superman. All right, we appreciate everybody who's been interactive there in the chat. And Hunter, thank you so much for making time for us here today on the Meltdown. I hope it is not your last appearance.
No, I'm coming back if you need me.
And I know that we're going to get some Star Wars news here in the upcoming months that we're going to need to sort of pick your brain on, and whether or not it's hitting the right notes for you and that chip that is going.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Meltdown. Thank you all for being here with us, and we appreciate it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us and subscribe if you haven't already.